Hey guys, and welcome back to the Layah Heilpern show. Today we're in Miami and we have a very exciting in-person guest. So joining me on the show today to talk all things crypto and particular Polkadot, we have Chrawnna, the director of TheKus, the media broadcaster from the Polkadot network. Jay, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, thanks. I'm great. I'm excited to be on the show.
No, I'm so excited to speak with you because, there's so many different chains in crypto, right?
Yeah.
And Polkadot was one which I didn't know a lot about actually. And it was your content that really just opened my mind to everything that's going on the Polkadot network. Been following everything you guys are doing. So I'm so happy to finally meet you in person.
Great. Well, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, how's it in Miami? You enjoying it?
I like Miami. You
Yeah?
know, my whole vision of Miami was all stereotypes. And then
Oh.
I got here and it turned out like they're all true.
Oh, so
And
they're all true?
yeah.
I thought you were about to say that they were.
No, it's all, you
Oh,
know.
no.
No, I love it. No,
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
wonderful. The people are beautiful. Everybody's smiling. The vibes are so great. I'm happy to be here and I love Florida.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's great. And it's funny because it actually, some of the stereotypes are true. I'll give you a little story.
Sure.
I went to New York for some work about a year and a half ago. And everyone was just bumping shoulders in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And I think a girl like walked right into me and it was all very cold and mean. And as soon as I landed back in Miami, everyone's easy breezy. The
I
sun is
know.
shining. Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Got their little dogs out. It's amazing.
So you've been in crypto since how long? Was it 2017 you said you got in?
No, cycle after. So
Okay.
about this time before the last halving,
Oh, okay.
just got in time to see the halving happen
Right.
and pack some bags based on, what random people on YouTube are telling me. And then I participated in the DeFi summer, did the yams and all that.
Oh, you did the yams?
Yeah, I did the
Oh,
yams,
wow. How was that? Did you make money or did you just,
Look.
you got
I made an obscene amount of money from my standards at the time.
amazing?
And then I lost it all by the end of the DeFi summer. So I ended up about back where I was.
Okay, that's what happens.
Yeah, but that was fine. It was an incredible education. And I was so hooked.
Right.
After the DeFi summer, I found Polkadot.
Mm-hmm.
I found Gavin Wood. And then I just roll into it. And I've been there ever since.
Okay, we're going to get into that because, I don't think Polkadot is the gateway drug to crypto. Like, it's not
No.
the first thing,
Yeah.
It's either Bitcoin, meme coins, or Doge. Even though Doge is a meme coin, it's kind of like in its own
Yeah, right.
category.
Right.
It's on its own pedestal of meme coins. So firstly, what were you doing before crypto? And what got you into crypto? Like, how did you land here right
Sure.
before the halving? And what a time to get in as well.
Yeah, I guess that was pretty fortunate. I got in at the COVID crash.
Right.
Before that, I came up through entertainment. So I was an actor. I really liked directing. I'm from Canada. I was traveling the country doing theater, directing, acting, and all this. Love live performance. I think it's an inoculation against bullshit.
Right.
The government can give you all kinds of propaganda, but when you're sitting there in the room with other people at a concert, at a comedy show, at a debate, you really get to see what your neighbors actually think. Live performance has also been subject to censorship all through the ages, right? When the moralists and the Puritans come along and they start censoring and shutting down the theater or whatever's happening live on stage, that's because it's getting out of hand.
Right.
That's because it's a tool of the people that's getting taken away. But all this shut down because of COVID.
Right.
So I thought, well, now's a good time to learn a little bit about finance. So I started studying finance on university courses. And then from there, I rolled into Bitcoin. And then from there, I just got further and further down. And here I am in the Polkadot ecosystem, using my skills to provide value to the other holders and help make things happen.
So how did you land on Polkadot? Like, why didn't you stick with Bitcoin? Why didn't you go to Ethereum? Like,
Yeah.
why Polkadot of all the networks?
Well, look, I want to give credit where it's due. I feel so fortunate to be alive during this era of Bitcoin.
Oh, of course.
My friends and my family, all their hard work, their contributions to the world getting inflated away.
For sure.
I can't stand for it anymore now that I know about Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin introduced us to this ubiquitous access to hard money. However, I also understand that hard money by itself is not enough to deliver us to sovereignty from some of the most oppressive government structures that are rising up and already established in some places on Earth. We can't just have hard money. We also need a platform, a compute platform, where we can organize ourselves, where we can create organizations. So Polkadot is right now the largest actually decentralized and truly autonomous organization on the planet. It can't be stopped.
Wow.
An individual, a government, you can't stop it. You should try, and it'll make it stronger.
And why is that? Usually people talk about Bitcoin in that light.
Yeah.
So how does it compare to Bitcoin?
Well, it's a lot more capable than the Bitcoin platform.
For sure.
Right? And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's simple, it counts, keeps track of where everything is, and that's great. But I can't put logic on Bitcoin. I can't create relationships on Bitcoin.
Correct, yeah.
If I do, I'm generally taking shortcuts, right? With, I think, a lot of the L2 tech that's coming out.
Correct, yeah.
Gavin Wood, he's the fellow who took Vitalik's idea for Ethereum and turned it into the technical implementation that allowed Ethereum to actually exist. So he
Right.
built smart contracts, but he described on one of our podcasts, we've had him on, that from his point of view, Ethereum was ultimately supposed to be a DAO, right? And this is extremely important because the problem with centralization, as you know, same when we talk about Bitcoin, is when you have centralized pockets of control, then they're easy to cut off. You can cut off those heads and then the network is done, right? We can't have this for Bitcoin. We can't have this for a platform like Polkadot.
Right.
The DAO never developed on Ethereum, right? It does change slowly, but it's painful. You know, Ethereum 2.0, I don't know when we started hearing about that.
And I just have not seen the results.
No, of course not. Yeah.
I think it cost me like $100 to make a transaction.
It's
a couple
ridiculous.
weeks ago, so-
Obviously, we can't have organizations on Ethereum. And L2s are not an option either if you believe in being uncensorable.
Correct, yeah.
Gavin Wood, I think he was seeing that 2016, 2017, well, this was kind of calcifying. This wasn't going to go anywhere, what we're seeing today. So he left with his team, which was called Parity at the time, to build Polkadot. And he put two very important features into Polkadot. One, it upgrades automatically. So if people vote to change the protocol itself or to spend the treasury, it's going to happen, right? I think we saw Arbitrum or something a while ago where they did a vote with the holders.
Right.
And then the people who actually control Arbitrum thought, I don't think we really want to do that, right? And they took it back, right? This can't happen on Polkadot.
Yeah.
If you upgrade it or if you vote to upgrade in a certain way, it's going to happen. So he built that, and then he built a social layer on top, built on skin in the game. Anybody today who holds DOT can vote to spend a treasury worth $350 million and climbing with the price of DOT. Anybody who holds DOT can propose how to spend it, and anybody who holds DOT can propose how to upgrade the Polkadot software, including the rules that dictate this governance system itself. So these two features allow Polkadot to constantly evolve and upgrade and also be resilient to attacks because we have the social layer that can protect it without having a central point of failure.
And Polkadot has actually been really quiet recently.
Yeah.
We've been hearing a lot about all the other different chains.
Yeah.
And I understand there's some reasons for that.
Well, this is, if any of your viewers are interested in the speculation side of the market right now, there's an opportunity here. We have a lot of blockchain projects that are doomed to fail. They have fatal flaws, right? Either through centralization, where regulation is likely to come down and cut them out. Maybe there's a situation where the chain is getting bloated. It's going to be more and more expensive machines to run the network. Meme coins, they have no utility whatsoever except for fun.
Right.
Yet these tokens pump.
Correct. Yeah.
Why? Because of marketing. Because of good stories. Marketing drives attention and it drives more capital. Polkadot has been completely avoiding this because the early holders of DOT really cared about working with the SEC. Well, 3.5 years ago, the SEC was asking blockchains to come in and talk to them. This is when Gary showed up, hot MIT crypto professor. Remember?
Right.
Remember he was going to change the scene for us?
We thought it was going to be
thought we had it in the
revolutionary. We
bag.
thought we were sorted.
Oh, man.
How wrong we were.
How wrong we were.
Yeah.
Polkadot was one of the few projects that went to the SEC and started working with them. And the goal over 50 plus meetings was to transition the DOT token from a security, which Polkadot declared it was at the time of distribution. It says, we are a security, this is a security, to something that couldn't be defined by the Howey test. If I can hold a token or a stock and it gains value by the work of other people, this is how we define a security. Polkadot has decentralized itself socially, the people who are building it, technically, the validator set, to the point where we can't point at a single point and say, this is where the money's being made. Anybody who holds DOT has the opportunity to participate in this. And so this is why over the past 9 months, the SEC's rolled out all these complaints. You haven't seen DOT. And I asked myself why was important to the early DOT holders, but I think it has to do with the incredible capital in the United States and also the incredible ingenuity, the incredible inventiveness in the United States. We want American organizations to feel comfortable deploying their business on Polkadot without having to worry that the token they need to burn in order to make the network operate is a security.
Right, of course.
And they're beginning to catch on.
I got it.
So through the Treasury and this governance system, about 3.5 months ago, now that we're all decentralized and we're satisfied with our relationship with the SEC, marketing is picking up. And so now people are hearing about Polkadot just before the marketing wave comes.
Talk to me, what is open governance?
Okay, so this is the social layer that I was telling you about.
Okay.
When I was saying earlier how anybody with a token can vote on how to spend the Treasury, all of this is OpenGov. It's all built on skin in the game. So validators, for instance, they operate with skin in the game, right?
Course, yeah.
They put up tokens, and if they behave badly, that skin gets burned. And on Polkadot, if you're a large holder, you probably want to stake. So what we do is we delegate our stake to validators, and they operate on our behalf. With those locked tokens, which are earning rewards, you can also choose to vote on various proposals and referenda, right? We just had one where $3 million deal to wrap a Indy 500 car that's going to be racing in a couple months and a couple of NASCARs. You know, it's a big thing. $3 million is a lot, but it ended up going through. For every DOT you have held, that stake that's locked away, you get one vote, but you can increase the power of your vote by locking for up to 224 days. And a lot can go wrong in this time, right? Your DOT can go to zero. So if you have a million DOT, right, $10 million worth of it today, right, that could go to zero in 200, hopefully won't, probably won't, but yeah, so there's a lot at stake. The more you have at stake, the more risk you're willing to take,
The more voting power
the
you
more
have.
authority you have, the more
Right.
power you have. That's what OpenGov is built on.
Okay. I understand the risk reward, and naturally if you have more skin in the game, then you have more right to a vote.
Yeah.
But do you think that perhaps maybe disenfranchises people who aren't able to buy as much,
Yeah, it's nice. Good question. OpenGov is democratic, not in the Athenian sense, like one person, one vote. And that wouldn't even make sense actually on a global scale like this. But we do have a few other features that allow smaller holders to have a voice. One is delegations. So maybe there's a large whale who doesn't have time or isn't interested in dealing with the day-to-day chaos of the network. So they may delegate their voting power to somebody else. TheKus.xyz in our media brand, we have 2 million DOT in delegations, for instance. The other thing you could do is your social capital. There's a big culture around anonymity, right, in crypto. But in a high-stakes game like we're playing on Polkadot, it really matters if you can come out and show literal skin, show your literal face, and put your reputation on the line. So there are a lot of low holders that have a lot of sway and authority in the ecosystem simply because they've developed a reputation and they're seen as valuable people. I think at this stage of Polkadot, maybe things could change. I mean, there's ideas of quadratic voting and these sort of things. But I think at this early stage of the network, we want it to be a riskocracy. We want the decisions to be made by the people who have the most to lose. Because we find there are a lot of people who hold almost no DOT.
Right.
But they create a shit ton of noise on Twitter. You know what I mean?
About DOT.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
they have opinions.
Yeah.
But they're just making noise, right? So these people, they don't have as strong a voice as the people who actually have something at risk
Exactly.
in the network.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool way to do it.
For sure. I'm curious though, what is the vision of DOT? So I understand, it's extremely decentralized, which definitely sets it apart from all the other chains that we're hearing about right now, like Base, Solana, spoke about ETH.
Yeah.
But what makes DOT different in terms of its vision and its goal?
I think it goes back to what we spoke about earlier. This has never been confirmed explicitly to me, but I kind of think this technology is being built to allow people to separate from states if they wanted to. It's kind of a crazy vision, but this technology could do it even in its current state. I think that's the goal there. Otherwise, it's a fantastic platform for large enterprises.
Right.
And projects that need serious performance from a blockchain to deploy. And there are so many amazing projects that are working on Polkadot right now, that are making blocks right now that nobody knows about.
Let's
crazy.
talk about that. Tell me,
Okay.
who's building on Dot right now?
Oh my God. It's
Who's building? What are they building?
okay. I'm going to limit myself to 4 or 5. I don't know. 4.
You can give us 6, whatever,
Mythical Games.
Okay.
It's led by John Linden. He's the guy that made the Call of Duty games possible. He helped design the Millennium Falcon ride
Nice.
in Orlando.
Uh-huh.
They have an NFL branded game in the App Store today called NFL Rivals. They have another car racing game that just came out. One of their previous desktop games is coming to mobile. All of them have custodied wallets. So the user signs up. They don't know they're collecting NFTs. But all of their users, over 4 million today, have the option of taking custody of their own assets. The Mythical Chain is the largest blockchain by NFT volume. The 4th largest blockchain by NFT volume of any blockchain, and the largest gaming chain. Mm-hmm. They, right now, are moving from their proof of authority Hyperledger Bezu chain to a substrate-based blockchain secured and connected to Polkadot. So over the next 2 months, Polkadot will acquire the largest gaming chain on the planet.
Wow.
And it's also been barred from a lot of centralized exchanges because it is a proof of authority chain, which means they basically control all the validators. Once it's on a decentralized network like Polkadot, this all opens up. That's a wild opportunity.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's one. We also have Origin Trail. The AI narrative is super hot, right?
Right. AI is huge.
Origin Trail for 10 years has been tracking supply chains, covering 40% of U.S. imports, Walmart, Home Depot, the movement of medicine all around the world. They recently launched a new token called Neuro that is incentivizing the collection of knowledge graphs around specific industries. 10 years of collecting these knowledge graphs to train AI, to help with things like model collapse, to help with things like hallucinations, and keep AI grounded in reality and useful to us, so
Yeah.
it doesn't like hallucinate itself.
I think that's really bullish actually for
Yeah.
Polkadot, because AI is inevitable. It's a huge narrative. And
Yeah.
if you look at which tokens are performing extremely well right now in crypto, AI tokens are up against all of them,
Yeah.
because that's what people want. That's where the attention is. So I think every single blockchain right now, in order to be competitive, needs to have something to do with AI on it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting to hear.
Origin Trail's a mega bullish one. Here's a cool one. You know Indonesia?
Right.
Thousands of islands, right? And they came together to form a country. Their citizen identification, the way they deal with data, how they deal with their medical system, all this, it's all piecemeal and confusing. They don't really communicate with each other.
Right.
They're working with a blockchain connected to Polkadot called Mandala Chain to put their citizens, their registration process, their medical
Wow.
institutions on the blockchain. Indonesia is the 4th largest country by population on the planet.
Is it? I didn't know that.
I know, that's crazy, right?
I always thought it was smaller.
No, I know. 4th largest population on the planet. You can fact check me.
I'll take a word for it. My
But-
Wi-Fi is not very good, but I will fact check you after this.
Yeah, do it. But yeah, they're working with Mandala Chain
Oh, wow,
to,
that's
to
fascinating.
put their country on Polkadot.
That's honestly so
This is just a
interesting.
small sample of what's happening, and all
Right.
of this is happening on Polkadot today. We're not waiting for Polkadot 2.0 for this to happen or anything like that. This is happening today.
So let's get into Polkadot 2.0.
Yeah, sure.
What is it? What can we expect?
Okay.
Why now?
Yeah, Polkadot 2.0 doesn't exist. It's really a marketing term. I use it myself. It's exciting to think about what's coming in the future.
Yeah, of course.
But Polkadot 2.0 hasn't been defined.
Okay.
Polkadot 2.0, Gavin Wood is about to present in Dubai the paper for what he's calling Jam. This is a suggestion for what Polkadot 2.0 could be. Polkadot right now, pretty complex. There's a lot of moving parts. It's hard for any dev to understand what's happening all over. I think what Gavin wants to do is he wants to separate out this user landscape where we have this central chain with incredible security and then connected to all these roll-ups basically that share its security, facilitates messaging between them. It's a beautiful thing. He wants to separate, I think, that out from a smaller, simpler kernel, something, it's going to run on RISC-V architecture, extremely performant, like a Polkadot VM, a PVM, something simple, something that can't be upgraded, something that's difficult to upgrade. Because Polkadot is always changing, it's kind of
Of course.
It's hard to,
Evolving
yeah, it's
all the
always
time,
evolving, right?
right.
Like it's living and breathing. But something simple, replicable that could run everything that's happening on Polkadot now, but also it could run individual smart contracts if they can find data availability and all the other pieces that you need. So this kernel can create this new chain. It'll be a regenesis of the Polkadot chain. He was calling it the jam chain so far, as far as I know.
Right.
Weave in all of these blockchains that already exist, as well as maybe other services as well. But it doesn't matter. That's going to take 2 years, okay? We can get excited about it, whatever. Polkadot's at 1.1 right now. We're in the middle of upgrading to 1.2.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Lots of things
Right.
are changing, right?
So what is Polkadot 1.2? Like, what can we expect from Polkadot in the next, let's say, 6 months to a year from now, particularly actually during this bull market?
In this bull market, it's going to be easier to build on Polkadot.
Okay.
So it's been kind of cumbersome to deploy on Polkadot. The main problem being, if you wanted to join this security, we only sold access in 2-year blocks.
Okay.
What you'd have to do is you'd have to get a whole bunch of DOT together and then loan it to the network. And then only if you beat everybody else who was trying to loan at the same time would you get access to build your blockchain. This is not great for the up-and-coming developer who's in his dorm room who wants to just deploy something fast and fun, right? Which is what you can do on Ethereum.
Of course.
The smart contract deployment is so beautiful. Gavin made that as well. But yeah, we're changing that. We're changing that model. Now we're offering access to what we're calling core time, access to the computer cores that make Polkadot run, that create the blockchain, that verify the blockchain, a month at a time or a block at a time. So maybe you're deploying a blockchain and you want it deployed, but you don't need to produce blocks because you're just starting, but you want to upgrade it. Oh, so buy a block. There you go. Or maybe you're a D-pin chain and you're taking air quality control and you only need a block every hour or day. You only have to pay for that. So that's what's coming out. That's what's rolling out right now in 1.2. And that's going to greatly reduce the barrier for people to come and build in the Polkadot network. And crucially, instead of loaning DOT, now they're going to burn it. So if you want a single block or you want a month worth, you're going to burn DOT now. So that's going to really change the economics too.
Now, we did an interview before this.
Yes.
And you asked me a question. So I'm going to ask you the same question back.
Fine.
You asked me what's my Bitcoin price prediction. So
Bitcoin price prediction.
this is what you asked me. So my question to you is, what's your DOT price prediction?
Ooh. I would not take this seriously because...
No, do it seriously. It's not financial advice. So come on, we got to hear it. Give it to us. I gave you my serious Bitcoin price prediction.
You gave me your serious prediction?
It came from my full heart.
Did it?
Yeah.
If it's going to be $100 at the next bottom, it's got to be 1,000 at the next top. It's pretty rough.
That's
but look,
good. I'm holding some DOT, so I hope so.
yeah, that would be fantastic, right?
Right.
But even if it's 100 next bottom, that would be good too.
It would be, yeah.
Holding DOT is actually worthwhile. It's not a meme coin.
It's not a meme
It's
coin.
It has uses.
Has real utility, as I've learned, and I think the Mandela chain was actually fascinating.
It's cool,
'cause,
right?
I didn't know that, and it's really nice to see real world usage of blockchain technology.
Yeah.
Because there's all these different coins, all these different chains, a lot of promises, but not a lot actually happening.
Anybody who's looking for some meaning
Right.
in blockchain, they're fascinated by the technology and they want to get deeper. They want to actually be part of something. You just buy a little bit of DOT, and then you're part of the DAO, the biggest DAO on earth. Massive treasury, self-maintaining, self-upgrading, truly decentralized. It's phenomenal.
Is there any final thoughts that you have that you'd like to share with us about DOT?
I would want to let people know about what we do at TheKus, because if you want to know anything more about DOT, you have to follow TheKus.
Okay.
You have to subscribe to TheKus. What we're doing with TheKus Mine, we're not really marketing. We're really providing internal media services for these
The
thousands of
ecosystem,
people,
right.
who need to be on the same page.
Correct.
Right? So we just touched a little bit today, but 5 days a week we have a news show of everything that's happening in the ecosystem. 2 days a week we have a live show where people who want to spend this treasury or want to upgrade the network come and face the music.
Oh, wow.
And face the token
Nice.
holders on a live platform. And we have a weekly in-person podcast which we travel around for, which you're going to be on too.
I'm excited.
So in a few weeks people can come over and learn more about you.
And I'm curious, how do you pick people for the TheKus podcast?
We just feel it out.
You just feel it out? What does that mean?
Well, we're paying attention. We read everything, right?
Right.
So like I said, it's a team of 11, right? And a lot of us are full-time, so we see everything. And if you're interested, not just in becoming part of, a bigger story and something that's important to the world, but even if you're interested in speculation, if you follow TheKus, you'll know what's happening. You'll know where to move your capital and everything like that.
And I can vouch for that, actually,
Yeah?
because I've been speaking with your team behind the scenes. And
Oh, yeah?
I'm hearing the sorts of things that they're saying. And I'm like, wow, like, how do you know that? And, you must have been having your ear to the ground for quite a few years to know that information.
This is the opportunity, right? Because Polkadot's been intentionally quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're here.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, how can people follow you, follow everything that's going on with TheKus, with Polkadot? Tell me, how do they get in touch and maybe even be a part of the ecosystem?
You just Google TheKus.
And how do you spell that? Because it's spelled differently to how it's pronounced, right?
K-U-S.
So it's not like cuss, but it's pronounced kus.
TheKus, yeah. It comes from a longer name, which is too hard to put in the...
Kusumerian.
Kusumerian, yeah, which we named after something obscure in Polkadot, so forget about it. So TheKus, follow TheKus, and or TheKus Polkadot, and follow us on Twitter. That's where the action really is. But YouTube as well, podcasts and all that. And to join in the fun, buy some DOT, join the DAO, and become part of something that is exciting even when all the speculators leave.
It's been so fascinating having you on the show.
Thank you for the nice questions.
Of course, we spoke a lot earlier about the tribalism in crypto, and my head was very much in the Bitcoin world, and I'm really enjoying speaking to different people from different ecosystems and actually learning about what you guys are doing and how you're actually bringing value to the world through mass adoption. So I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me. It's been such a pleasure.
It was a pleasure for me as well. Thanks so much.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this segment, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, as the bull market is officially back. So we're going to be bringing you a lot more crypto content. We'll see you all next week.